That's really funny.
That's great. What were you saying?
I fucking forgot.
That's good.
Oh, romantic, platonic. The intimacy that like I've had like very close friendships with straight men that felt very intimate.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And right, and so sometimes there's like this fine line between that. Sometimes I think, and also I think I wonder too if like those things always have to be separate, right? Like, is it possible for there? I can see Brian Lynn eating. Rafa just wrote, I can see Brian Lynn eating. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just processing out loud.
Yeah, something that brings up your point about like having a relationship with straight men, right? I think it's for me what I enjoy about friendships is having variety of friends, right? All my friends bring different things to me, right? And they come from all, and I think that's what I also like about sobriety too, is that like we come from all different corners of the earth, right? But we come with one commonality, and I think that Brandon says,
yeah, Steven puts out the comments up.
Brandon just wrote, will Steve put just about any comment on screen? Sorry, Jordan, go ahead.
That in order for me to feel more well-rounded, right, in my day-to-day, I think I rely on people for different things at different times, right? And to cultivate that, right, I lean on those folks when I need them, right? Like I'll lean on whoever when I need to talk about my bad day, right? I lean on somebody else to talk about good days. I lean on somebody else when I just want to like hang out and do nothing.
Can I tell you that that's something that hold on. Brian Lynn writes, mind your business, Rafa Garcia. So we've got some fighting in the comments. One of the things that I've struggled with, and maybe this is something that I still deal with, is that I sometimes have a hard time believing that someone would want to be my friend or would want to be in my company, or sometimes, and I know part of it is like because I was bullied as a kid and like I felt, there's all that kind of stuff. So sometimes it's crazy because I'm an adult and I still have those experiences where I feel like, are there things about me that are lovable, or are there reasons why like someone would want to be my friend, or and part of it is because like sometimes I'm in groups and I can't kind of find my place. I'm like, well, I'm not, and I think what I'm thinking of is like I've been in groups where there are people who are like just very kind of like exuberant personalities and like that, and sometimes I'm like, well, like I'm like I don't want to like speak of myself like
that can
in
happen
negative
sometimes.
terms, but yeah,
that can happen sometimes at game night.
Right.
Game night, because like I'll get like for me, I'll get there and I'm chummy with a lot of people and I'll be moving this place and whatever. And I'm like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't sit here. But honestly, sometimes I just push through. I'm all, you know what? This is get out of your head. I like to do that little thing. Like, fear is false evidence appearing real. You're telling yourself this, but these are people that care about you.
Yeah. It's like every year I'm surprised when I have a birthday thing. I'm always surprised that people show up.
Exactly.
And it's always like a lot of people. And I'm always like, wow, you guys are still my friend after all these years. And maybe that's trauma. I don't know.
And we're difficult.
Yeah.
We're not the easiest people.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you.
Oh.
We're not the easiest people though.
That's true.
No, we're easy to love. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because when I was in couples counseling years ago before my current relationship, one of the things that the couples counselor asked my ex and me was, do you feel like you're hard to love? And I remember feeling a little undone by that because I was like, oh, is that really what's happening here? Like when we get really close to people, again, whether romantic or platonic, is what makes it difficult sometimes, like this deep kind of feeling like I'm unlovable.
Absolutely.
Right. And so you're kind of like fighting to be loved, right? Like
right. And I think that's why most of us use, right, is to feel like we can bring something to the table, right? My guards are down when I'm using, and so that way I can be more my quote unquote self.
100%.
And to not have that crutch and not have that as grease to the wheels of who I am right now. How do I do that? Right. And I think that comes with practice.
Yeah. And I think I see that there's a comment, and one of the things that I like to think is that like the thing that I can do that is most God honoring is to be myself.
Absolutely.
Right.
100%.
And that feels like that language
I
feels
love
so
that God honoring. Yeah.
yeah. Like that feels so cheap for me to say, like, to be myself. But I think by that, I mean, what does it mean to like tell the truth in every moment? And not, I don't mean like actual verbal things that are the truth, but it's like, is what true for is what true for me? Is it true for me right now that I'm anxious? And if so, can I just allow myself to be anxious?
Yeah.
Is it true for me right now that I am wanting to say something, but I'm not saying it because I'm afraid of how people are going to receive it? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's see that comment.